Hello, welcome to episode 99 of the Epic Film Challenge to 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. 1987's A Chinese Ghost Story.
Oh God.
I'm so glad I got Connie to watch this. Just reading up about it, it sounded interesting. This is a complete blender, mixed up cluster fuck of a genre, multiple films. Like it's like horror, comedy, fantasy, romance, action, martial arts. Like it's fucking. It's like they just went put everything there, put everything in there, put everything in there. Kung fu, horror, special effects, comedy, slapstick, romance, and like it's just everything is in this film.
It feels like it jumps in and out of a parody, in a way.
Right. This film is about a tax collector, a simple tax collector, just as this guy, this Chinese guy.
Oh, that's what he was.
Yeah, and
the subtitles are horrible.
Oh yeah, the subtitles are horrible, and apparently even on official Blu-ray releases, the subtitles are not very good, which is a real shame, because I'd love to have understood it a bit more. But I still think that I understood the gist of everything. It's just the subtitles weren't that great. We watched it on YouTube. If you want to check it out, it is on YouTube, and it looks pretty good. So just beware that the subtitles aren't going to be that great. Now, it's about this tax collector, and he's a bit of a bumbling fool, and that's where some of the comedy comes into it. And he's trying to find somewhere to stay, and he goes to this temple. And when he gets to the temple, he meets these two people. They just explode out of nowhere, jump through the air, start this sword fight. It's ridiculous. And he meets this swordsman, who I guess you could say is something of a ghost hunter. You know, they don't say it in the film. That's kind of what he is. And he teams up with him. Yawn. Sorry. He teams up with him, and he meets this girl, a mysterious girl. And it's not really spoiling much, because this ain't a film that you're going to be like, oh, the plot is so precious. This girl is a ghost, and she seduces people, and they get killed by this higher evil. And he falls in love with the ghost. So the main character falls in love with this ghost. And she kind of falls in love with him a little bit, and so she's kind of a bit torn about what to do. And it's all about kind of trying to save her, and then having her be able to be reincarnated and to put her soul to rest, and it becomes this big, fight to...
Her becoming reincarnated means that she gets born again so that she can be a human, right?
Yes, and
okay,
that her soul is put, and so her soul is put to rest and stuff, which would mean that they would be separated, but it would purify her, I guess, in some way. I really liked the story. I really liked the romance. I thought it was quite sweet, and they got the cheesy 80s music playing in, and maybe it's a bit sappy, but I was invested by the romance, especially by the end of the film. But it is a batshit crazy film where so much is going on. Visually, I think it is stunning. Like the use of color, the use of angles, the use.
Some of the shots are amazing.
The production design, like there's just sort of like with the first fight with the swords, there's just leaves blowing around everywhere, wind, the people jumping through
it's
fucking
very Chinese.
Yeah, and I fucking love this film. I know that you weren't a big fan of it. I loved it. It's the most 80s film I've ever seen that isn't set in the 80s. Like the music is so 80s, the action, everything about it. Oh, I loved it. I really did.
Let me say, I did enjoy it, and I'm glad I saw it. But it's just most of the time I was just sat there with my mouth hanging open, because I was like, I couldn't believe that they made this.
It's so entertaining. It's so entertaining.
Well, yeah, because I have to accept the fact that it's going to be like this.
Yeah.
They kind of set it off early on in the movie that it's going to be a little bit ridiculous.
Yes.
But like when you thought you saw the most ridiculous thing in the movie, they top it off with something else, like the singing thing, or rapping, or whatever it was. I don't even know what was going on.
So right in the middle of the movie, right, we're dealing with the plot and the romance between this guy and this ghost. And the ghost hunter, he's out in the woods by the temple, and it cuts to him in the forest in the middle of the night,
swinging his sword around.
He's dancing. He's dancing around, swinging his sword, and he's looking at the camera, like.
邪门歪道，时来运道，旁门左道，生来要道，还我一道，不能人道，望眼大道，横行霸道，鬼哭神道，豺狼当道。Hey!
And the subtitles just says song.
It's like a music video plopped in the middle of the thing, and he's like jumping around with his sword and stuff. It's like, I just love the idea that he's in the middle of the woods making his own little music video because he's bored. It's so weird. But I loved it. And some of the effects are incredible. Like there's some stop motion, which wasn't amazing, but I liked it. It was cool to see it. But there's some real like practical.
They put some real effort into this movie, yeah.
Real effort. You just don't get movies like this anymore. You don't get them like this anymore. And it goes to films like that have these great practical effects as well, but like The Fly and things like that. But it's so fun to see films like this that have creatures and things like that. I mean, there's this. I mean, not even creatures, just the effects. I'm going to spoil it. There's a scene right at the end where you see the big bad guy, and he opens up his cloak, and about 50 heads, well, probably about 20 heads, just start flying out, and they're real human heads, and they must have been all wearing black, but it looked like the heads were fucking flying out. Like it was like, what the fuck is this?
That made me open my mouth. I was like, that whole sequence was kind of like. What were they on when they made this movie? You know? Where did the ideas come from?
And the ghost hunter guy, like every now and again, he'll like scroll some blood in his hand, and he'll be like, "The power of magic," and they'll start firing like just fireballs, like fucking Street Fighter.
What was that thing they chanted?
I can't remember. There's some kind of like
words,
something from something in Sanskrit or something. It's like some kind of to. I guess
and
you
it's
could.
got some funny moments, like the words that he has to say. Is something that makes the ghost kind of shy away or scream or whatever.
Like the power of Christ compels you, like the equivalent
kind of
of
like that. Let's just say it was power of Christ compels you, and so he teaches those words to the weird guy,
the main character.
And he gives the book of
whatever it is,
whatever it is.
The language is.
He gives the
Sanskrit
Bible to him, and then whatever it was. And it's like, okay, so just say these words when you need to say it, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, the power of Christ compels you, the power of Christ compels you, the power of Christ... To remember it? And it's like, don't say it now, they'll hear you, you know? And you're going to scare them away.
And it's a well-timed scene because he leaves from one door and he appears on the other side of the shot from another door. So it's the framing of the comedy is very well done. And
yeah, the comedy is good. Like, it's...
From what I understand, this is a genre unto itself. It's like this like Hong Kong like crazy like martial arts, like all these different genres rolled into one. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of these. I
just gotta say, I think that it was kind of refreshing for me to see this kind of comedy because it's not like that anymore.
Yeah.
The comedy now is just someone saying something and then awkward silence with the music cutting and then looking at each other, and then the music starting again and they.
Yeah.
That's the comedy nowadays, you know.
Pretty much.
But that was just like jump in comedy, you know. It's right there, you're on it, and then it was very enjoyable. But it's not. I didn't find it's not a. To me, it was kind of like it's such a bad movie that it's good. That kind of good.
I have to disagree.
Sometimes.
It's
but
not.
Sometimes it was great because some of the shots were. It was so confusing to me because it was like a real great artist made this movie, but then he was drunk through like 40% of it.
But I love that. I love the idea of let's make this film look like a masterpiece, but the action within it and the plot. Let's just play around with it. Let's just have fun. Let's just make it entertaining.
But
and this
sure
film,
that 50% of it looks amazing.
This film, to me, is pure entertainment.
It was.
It's no masterpiece, you know, and I'm honestly surprised it's in the book. I really am. Like, I had to double check. I'll probably
actually ask you, like, is this really in the book?
I'll probably go and triple check, in fact. But I tell you what, I loved it. Is it a film you'll see before you die?
You mean I might have watched this for no reason?
Absolutely. It's an
really?
absolutely yes.
Well,
because
then it's in the book.
It's so much fun. It is so much fun. And I defy anyone to watch this and not find at least some of it enjoyable. You could find it cheesy. You could find it, not funny. Maybe.
I think my brother would like this movie.
Maybe the humor wouldn't sit well with you or whatever. But like the action, there's always something going on, and I think maybe the only thing you could really criticize it for is taking the romance a bit too seriously when the rest of the film is so ridiculous. But I like that because by the time we got to the end of the film, there was something to be invested in.
I just wish someone made better subtitles for it. I mean, it can't be that hard. There are loads of Chinese people who speak really good English.
Yeah, I really wish there was. I mean, it's such a visual film. I think that it didn't matter too much. But to see it with, like, proper, accurate English subtitles, I think would be great.
I thought it was a little bit distracting because sometimes one of the characters would just say, and there would be, like, 6 words in a sentence.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then it was just like, and then, like, 2 sentences flew by.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it was distracting.
We know he didn't say that.
Those bits were distracting, unfortunately. But, yeah. So there we go. China, what do you think? Is it a film you'll see before you die? Just be completely honest. That's all you have to do. No one's judging here.
I highly recommend it. But I don't think it's a movie you have to see before you die.
Okay.
But I do want people to see it. So
yeah,
I don't even know, like, what does it mean anymore? Is it a movie before... When is it a movie you need to see before you die? When I recommend it, like, you gotta watch this movie. But...
Well,
I think it's okay. Like, you can rest in peace if you didn't. Where do I go?
Man, next episode, tomorrow, episode 100, we'll be talking about one of my favourite films of all time, one of the greatest horror films of all time, and we still haven't really nailed down, like, who are we saying this for? Let's just say, right now, as far as I'm concerned, movie you must see before you die. It doesn't really apply to your everyday average moviegoer. Someone who just goes and watches a film and that's it.
I know that.
You know, to me, it has to be someone who's interested in film and wants to see more of them.
I'm just thinking, like, I could have died happily without seeing this, but I'm glad I watched it, so I don't even know where I'm standing.
That's a valid... And you shouldn't have to stand for it. See, you said stand.
Yes.
It worked.
I should
It
know.
fit. Anyway, I don't know. It's whatever you feel is the right answer. To me, it's a yes. People should see it. That people should watch it because they find it enjoyable and entertaining, and would be surprised by it, which I was. You know, I'd read that it was colourful and wacky and stuff, but I mean.
I highly recommend it. You should watch it.
Yeah. You highly recommend it. You should watch it, but you shouldn't prioritize it. Like it's like you really put everything down.
I think there are a lot of movies you should watch before you go and watch this. I think that's why. I can't.
There you go. That's fine.
I don't know. I don't know.
Alright, okay.
I don't know. I'm so confused by it because it's such a confusing movie.
It is. I don't blame you.
didn't know what I thought about it
Right.
while I was sitting there, and you were like asking if I hated it or if I didn't enjoy it. I was like, I think I do. My whole body was confused because, like, parts of it was really funny, but I couldn't laugh because I was just like, did that just happen?
Yeah.
You know? And I didn't know if I was supposed to take it serious or not. And if you want to watch it, go watch it. You should, though. So, okay. I don't have an answer.
Alright.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'll put that on the website. That's fine. You can say that if you want. Now, if this film came out in the UK on Blu-ray and it was like we've done proper subtitles, that would be day one for me because like I really want to see it with proper subtitles.
Well, then maybe it would be a movie you should watch. I would like to watch it with proper subtitles because I'm not sure that we.
You thought that someone had just made everything up.
Yes, because parts of it when someone goes meh. You know, and you have a full sentence coming out of it.
I wonder whether there was like maybe they worked from a script or something.
It was
I don't know.
Lost in translation.
Yeah.
And Bill Murray sat there, and the woman is translating, and she's giving him like three words, and he's like, "Are you sure?" Because it sounded like he said a lot more than that. That's what I felt like. I was like, "Are you sure?" Subtitles. I'm pretty sure he just said. So I got distracted by it, but if they have some proper subtitles for it, I would actually watch it again. I can't believe that. That's probably another reason. And
I want to see the sequels too, but like again, I'm hesitant to do that until I can say that there's really good subtitles for it. Anyway, that's it for now. Yep. That's episode 99. Next video will be episode 100. It'll be a 10th of the way there. Fuck. And we'll be talking about a great film which we have no argument over whether it's a film you should see before you die, so spoilers. And join us for that tomorrow. And thank you for watching.
Is it the one I'm working on?
It is the one you're working
okay.
on. And go see a Chinese ghost story. It's on YouTube.
How long until that one will be published?
This is not going to be in there, is it?
Yeah, well, look, my hair is short, and then the next video is going to be long, so...
Fair point, fair point. We're filming these all out of whack, just so you realise, you know. Yeah. Her hair doesn't grow that quickly. Just so you know. Alright, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
We haven't done that review yet.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have to do that at some point.
Not today.
No, definitely not today. Alright, so thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.